All right, everybody, welcome back here. It's been a couple weeks since I've done one of these, but we're going to be talking about another concert memory. And of course, if you're reading the title down there, you're seeing it says Tool and Godsmack. So this one was a couple years ago. I believe 2023, if I'm not mistaken. I think this was around 2023. And this was the Louder Than Life show up in Louisville, Kentucky. It's a big festival. I'm sure plenty of you have heard of it. Long drive. It was me, my girlfriend, and my one of my younger brothers. We all took the haul up there. Good 8.5 hour drive. And so, as you know, it's a big festival at Louder Than Life, right? But you're like, what? Why is there only two? Why don't I just call the video Louder Than Life? Or why is there only two artists here? It's because, for one, I didn't go up there and stay the whole weekend or nothing. I was going there for, I think this was a Saturday I went on this one, if I remember right. I was going there for Tool and Megadeth, mainly. And I like Godsmack too, and I think Limp Bizkit was playing too. So, they're on this day, and I think there was, I can't remember, there was a pretty solid lineup on this particular day. So I just bought the one, just the tickets for this one day, right? So, I guess you always should know that and be pretty much prepared that stuff's gonna go awry along the way, and a lot of road trips and things like that, right? So there was a big wreck or something around when we were up driving through and cutting through Illinois at one point, and we were stuck just waiting there for over an hour. So yeah, we missed Megadeth, right? So that sucked. Was really, really wanting to see them. I've still yet to see them. I know now they just announced their final tour and their final album, so I'm going to have to pull the trigger then for sure. But that really bummed us out because, that put us behind. Really, we should have left even before, a couple hours before, but we're like, we'll be fine. But, we didn't really account for some of that stuff happening. But, that kind of bummed us out. But by the time we got there and walked, made it through all the stuff, getting your tickets, the line, all this stuff, and made our way, walked all the way to the stage we were going at, Godsmack was just coming out there. And this was a really freaking cool show. And hey, I'll tell you this, that place was packed too. So many people, a sea of people, which this will come into play here shortly. As a part of this story, kind of a crazy, kind of a funny story that comes along with this one, right? But Godsmack put on a hell of a show, right? They, I remember they played Voodoo, of course, some big stuff like that. They played, of course, God, why am I drawing a blank on it? I'm not the biggest Godsmack fan for one, right? but I do like them. They were not, safe to say, they were not the reason I was going to the show. They're good. They've got some good shit. Cry Like a Bitch is what they played. They played that one as well. They played, I'm trying to remember what else. They did a big cool drum solo thing going on, which I was really surprised. I didn't know Sully, the lead singer, also played drums. He's pretty damn good at it. So that was pretty cool. They also played Stand or Rise Up or something. They're one of the newer songs. I remember them playing that. They played, I don't think they played The Enemy. I don't recall them doing that one. But I remember kind of some of those main points. Those were kind of some of the main ones I remember them playing. Again, I know I'm going to, if anybody is a massive Godsmack fan down there in the comments, that's cool, man. I'm just drawing a blank of what stuff they played. Again, I'm not the biggest Godsmack fan. I've heard plenty of their stuff over the years, some of their bigger stuff like, The Enemy, Touche, Running Blind. I like that acoustic stuff they did. And stuff like that. But, not the biggest fan of them. They're good. I've never listened to a full album of them, to be fair, all the way through. So, but anyways, around the, I think the last track, which may have been Voodoo, if I remember right. They they my girlfriend pretty much was like, "Hey, it's hot out here," you know, and she, of course, we're all. I mean, this was in a September, I think, or some point like this, but pretty much it was hot as hell, right? And also on top of that, you have that sea of people, right? So she was like, "Hey, I'm getting thirsty. I'm gonna go grab something to drink and bring it back over here." And I'm like, "Oh, I don't know about that because there's a lot of people here, and I don't know if you're gonna be able to find us." And you can already see where this is going. So, but she's adamant on it. I'm like, "All right, just please come back, keep your phone nearby." Well, this is an outside venue, right? And I guess there's no cell. It didn't seem like there was any cell service going on or hard to connect the internet or whatever out there. On top of that, even if I could have called her, wouldn't have been able to hear her worth nothing. But so she wanders off, and as Godsmack's finishing up and everything. So then we're like, okay, Tool's about to come on, and it's like I'm starting to trip out a little bit. I'm like, where is she at, right? And I'm Tool's starting to come out here. Still wondering. So the first song Tool does, which is awesome, mind you, if I remember right, they did. What did they do first there? It may have. I think they played Schism first, if I'm not mistaken, which was a really cool way to. Or no, that they opened it with. I believe they opened it not with H, but Stinkfist. They opened it with Stinkfist, if I remember right. Again, this has been a couple years, but and that was awesome. But I'm like, man, where's my girlfriend? She's missing out on this, and she loves Tool as well. And time keeps going, right? And I'm like, what the hell? Now, I wasn't necessarily concerned for her safety. I saw her go, into that direction where like the drink stands were there. Again, there's a lot of people here. And really, but by that time she left to go get a drink, right? People just came flooding. Like if you thought the amount of people there was big when Godsmack came, when Tool came, it's like I turned around and it's like we all got pushed up closer because of how many people were coming. So it was crazy, right? But song after song from Tool, was going on, and I'm sitting here thinking, well, at this point, I'm gonna have to just enjoy the show, but of course I've still got that worry in the back of my head, and if you're thinking, okay, why don't you go look for her? Well, the thing is, if I were to do that, and then she ended up finding where we were, but and we weren't there, so it kind of would have been some chaos there. But anyways, back to the show here, and then I'll kind of conclude that that part near the end, because yeah, she didn't make it back till the end of Tool set list, which sucked. But so they played Stinkfist, they did play Schism. I thought that was awesome. They played an incredible variety of stuff from their albums. I was really glad to see they played some stuff off Fear Inoculum, including that title track, that epic title track, Numa. They played it off there. They played Invincible off there. They played what did they played? Of course, they played The Pot. That was pretty crazy. Everybody was vibing to that one. That was pretty cool out there. Just got a cool rhythm to it. They played Jambai. Loved that they played that. One of my favorite tracks off 10,000 Days. They played, I think they played Right in Two. I'm pretty sure they did. Maybe not, but, and off some other stuff they played The Grudge. And in fact, I think The Grudge is what they opened with. I'm pretty sure they played The Patient, which was so cool. I love that song off of Lateralis. If you've seen my Tool ranking stuff, that's my favorite track by them. And they played Push It off Enema. Just an incredible one of the best shows, despite these circumstances going on, that I've ever been to. The light show, the really psychedelic kind of trippy lights and visuals that they're known for in both their music videos, album covers, the kind of Alex Gray artwork, DMT looking shit, you know. Very, very cool visuals that were paired along with these, just kind of really got you in the zone and to really just enjoy the light show and the music. Just absolutely incredible show and experience. Me and my younger brother were there just enjoying it. And again, you know, in the back of my head, I'm worrying about my girlfriend, can't find her. But at this point, I'm like, you know, I can sit here and worry, and you know, she can handle her own. You know, again, I wasn't worried about her safety as much because there was a lot of people there. It's a crowded public place. There's security all throughout the crowd and everywhere. It was just more of like, great, I'm worried I'm gonna have a hard time finding her within the crowd, and I might just have to sit here and wait until the crowd clears up and people start going home, right? Well, by the end of the near the end of the show, you know, I think it was the last track, literally, of Tool, and I think they were playing. What did they close with? I think they closed with. They may have closed with H or something like that off of Enema. I remember they closed with something off Enema, but she appeared, and I'm like, I felt a tap on my shoulder. I'm like, huh? And there she was, and she was upset because she really, really wanted to see Tool and, you know, experience that. And you know, that was the big bummer of the evening, that she missed out pretty much on the entire show. She said she could hear it. She was back there, and she's small, right? She's little, so she was trying to, you know, weasel her way through the crowd, but she said people just kept on coming, and then, you know, she would have a hard time getting, you know, held up again, and she kept just trying to, but she could hear it and see the visuals from where she was at, kind of far back, but like she said, she just didn't enjoy it as much. You know, we were all there to have a good time together, so that was kind of a bummer on the whole thing, but I promised her next time Tool's around, we're going, so that we'll make up for that experience, no doubt about it. But you know, again, besides that kind of chaotic, crazy concert story, Tool puts on an absolute fantastic show, and I can't wait till they make their way around this neck of the woods, or, you know, hell, I'd drive a good distance to see them again, because that was just absolutely fantastic. Played some of my favorite tracks off several of their albums. I'm trying to remember if they played anything off Undertow. Maybe they played Sober. I don't know. I don't recall them playing much off Undertow, if anything. But, you know, it was mainly, you know, Enema, Lateralis, Fear Inoculum, and 10,000 Days stuff, which I was cool with, because, you know, I love Undertow and Opiate and that early era of the band, but my favorite era of the band is definitely kind of like Lateralis, my favorite album, 10,000 Days, up in that kind of area. But it was a good variety. I loved those epic length tracks. It was kind of funny seeing some people who maybe weren't as big of Tool fans, where if you're a fan of them, you know, they got all those like time signature changes, you know, and different things like that, and kind of stops, and then that'll kick back into the song. People would be clapping thinking the song was over. Some people who maybe didn't know the song, but then I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, no, this song's still going. You just wait, you know, and then a big moment would happen. And particularly in like Invincible and Numa, like that I saw a few people kind of get fooled by thinking the track was over. And I'm like, you know. And Danny Carey, wow, to see that guy just drum like a madman up there on stage. And we were pretty far away. Like I said, there were so many people at this thing, but it was, we could see, you know, they had the screens and stuff and all the visuals, and I could see the stage though and see what was going on. But we were pretty far back, and just Adam Jones, absolute incredible. Justin Chancellor, phenomenal. Maynard, incredible. Everybody just was top notch, incredible performance. So, yeah, guys, I've seen Tool. I saw Godsmack. That was a pretty cool experience. Couple of bummers along the way, missing Megadeth. But I'm gonna have to catch them on this last tour, and I'm gonna catch Tool. I'm gonna have to see them again and make it up to my girlfriend, since she, you know, got lost, and pretty much missed the show. So I'd love to hear if you guys have heard, or have seen Tool or Godsmack or Megadeth or any other bands who were part of that lineup that year. Again, I think it was 2023 if I'm not mistaken. But it was a fantastic show, and definitely look forward to seeing Tool again, no doubt about it. And I would go see Godsmack again. Maybe, I don't know if I'd pay to go see them as like a headliner anywhere or drive too far to see them, right? But if they were on the bill for another show or something, that'd be cool. But anyways, guys, yeah, like, subscribe, comment, and talk about some of your concert experiences. What I think this was my 4th show, if I remember right. Yeah, this would be my 4th show. So if I'd love to hear your guys' 4th concert experience, or just any of them for that matter. And I would, especially, you know, if you've seen some of these guys, Tool, Godsmack, Megadeth, any of them down there, would love to hear your guys' experiences with that. Like, subscribe, comment. Thanks so much, guys. I appreciate it.